Hi, I'm Dan O'Day. Recently I wrote at length about music, conversation, and the illusion of forward momentum. In a nutshell, in response to a radio programmer's query, I said it's stupid for radio stations to have a music bed playing underneath every jock's voice every time a jock speaks. Not surprisingly, my remarks generated a lot of feedback, mostly along the lines of, "Thank you, I've been trying to explain this to my PD or consultant." But a program controller from the UK attempted to put me in my place, and I quote, "I think I can pick apart your argument about using beds. You said that American Idol doesn't use beds when the judges are giving their comments. Maybe not, but what about the end when there are two contestants left and it is being decided which one is going home? I bet there's a tension bed running in the background. There is here in the UK on X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Dancing on Ice, and all our other reality TV shows. And the reason those beds are there, a bed can change the mood of what is happening. Why do we get incidental music in films? When the happy couple finally get together at the end, there's always a happy tune that strikes up in the background. It's emotive. It's building on emotions, tugging on heartstrings, and enhancing the atmosphere. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but if that's the case, then why is there music in films?" Here's my reply. I'm afraid you didn't succeed in picking apart my argument because I was referring specifically to the practice of always putting a music bed underneath conversational elements, that is, one or more people talking. The elements you gave are using sound to enhance the emotional impact when conversation is absent. If your caller has 10 seconds to come up with the answer to your tough trivia question, playing the musical clock adds to the fun and to the suspense. The only two reality shows I've ever seen are The Contender Season 1 and Project Runway. I can barely say it. The climax of each episode of The Contender was a tightly edited, condensed version of that week's fight. There was exciting music during the fight's highlights, but when the ring announcer pulled down the microphone to declare the winner, the music came to an abrupt halt. Why? Because everyone wanted to hear what he was going to say. On Project Runway, tension-enhancing music plays at the end of each episode, while two contestants remain on stage, knowing that one of them is about to get kicked out. No words are spoken, not by the hosts, not by the contestants, who stand uncomfortably for what seems like an eternity. But the music stops immediately before Heidi Klum, the incredibly wooden, apparently famous supermodel I never heard of, says, "Hector, you're out." Because at that moment, the drama is in the words. Then why is there music in films, you ask? Well, first, music in films isn't used very well often. I'm guessing the percentage of badly used film music is approximately the same as bad radio. Now, don't take my word for it. Ask any good film composer. Second, when used properly, the music enhances the emotional response the filmmaker wants to elicit. And third, just as in radio, many directors use music in an attempt to force the illusion of an emotion the scene is not able to deliver on its own. The action isn't exciting, but maybe if we add loud, pulsating music, we can make the audience think it's exciting, or the tender moment between these two characters plays out completely flat. The actors share absolutely no chemistry, or they're not very good actors, or the dialogue is bad, or the story is lame. So the solution, bring on the violins. When it's used well in movies, music enhances the emotional impact that already exists in a scene. Now, for a superb lesson in how to use music in movies, watch The Sixth Sense again. There is almost no music in that film, very, very little. But when there is music, it notches up the scene's creepiness to an almost unbearable level. Here's a sample from The Sixth Sense. Sustaining tension throughout a 90-minute film without resorting to cheap tricks requires a lot of artistry and skill. Even 40 years after it was made, Failsafe remains what critics would call a gripping drama. It's relentlessly tense. In case you've never seen Failsafe, here's a sample from perhaps the most tense moment of the entire film.
We must advise the president not to recall those planes.
They're flaming hot.
He's firing anyway.
No chance. There goes number 2.
Mr. President, the fighters have not succeeded. They've gone down into the sea.
What are the chances of our bombers getting through to Moscow?
We've made the calculations 100 times. What they have in the way of defenses, what our planes are capable of doing. The Vindicators fly so fast, the Russians won't be able to use all their defensive apparatus. 1 or 2 of the bombers will get through.
Failsafe benefited from an immensely talented director, a good story, a fine script, and a consistently strong cast. Oh, and one more thing, it didn't use a drop of music, not a single note. You see, when in just a few minutes a nuclear war started by accident might destroy life as we know it, we really don't need John Williams to musically yell, "Hey, this sure is tense!" Well, how about live theater? Although, especially in recent years, incidental music occasionally is used in stage productions, I'm not aware of any non-musicals that play music while an actor is delivering his lines. Why should they? They've got the actors, they've got the audience. It's an intimate experience. That's what makes good and even not so good theater so exciting. The performers and the audience are collaborating to produce a dialogue between them. Intimacy. You know, kind of like radio's biggest strength, the ability to communicate one-to-one. I'm Dan O'Day. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
DanO'Day.com
Digital
alignment part.
synchronize.